Well, hello, how are you doing tonight, everyone? Well, my name's Nate. I'm from the University of Sydney Business School. Woo! And I'm originally from Thailand. So, if you're wondering, I give great Thai massages, but please don't ask me for a happy ending. So, I'm from the beautiful city. Yep, the city. I'm clicking. That's also working again. My biggest fear has happened again. Live shows, ladies and gentlemen. All right, is it on? So I'm from Bangkok. Such a beautiful name. You know, Bangkok originally, the Thai name for Bangkok is actually this. Dave did one, somehow I have a problem with this. So we actually have the longest city name in the world, if you didn't know, according to the Guinness World Records. So you really wonder as a Thai person, how such a beautiful name became Bangkok. It's the white people. They couldn't pronounce such a beautiful name, so they went with something short for something long. Bangkok. So, I love my home country. We're a bunch of really nice people. We smile a lot, and we say yes to everything, but we often mean no. And we then gossip behind your back. That's why it makes us so good, so well to work in teams. We're such good team players, so well. And that's why I'm here today to talk about teams. Well, not that one that we hate, but this one. Teamwork. This whole thing is not really working with me at the moment as a team, so I'm trying, okay guys? Don't worry, I'm not gonna make you do any trust falls or anything like lame like that, But you often hear this phrase, teamwork makes the dream work. Oh, so cringy, I know. But, I'm very interested in it. Come on, if you think about it, right? If we work in a team that's bad, that's crappy, that's shitty, we're gonna be unhappy, right? And we're not gonna perform very well as a team. So then that's why bad teamwork makes the dream hurt. So I recently got eye surgery, and this was my point of view. Very scary, I know. Being on an operating table, looking up, they're gonna pierce something in your eyes. But you know what's worse when I was lying there? Was when my eye surgeon asked the nurse a question. And the nurse just didn't say anything. And she obviously had something to say, and she was just too afraid. Well, luckily my eyes are fine now, don't worry. But I can try crossing them without even having to work hard, So the biggest problem of all when working in teams is when you're silent. So silence is bad, right? Hey, is the mic working? Hey Dave, guys, is mic working? Okay, I think we're back. Yeah. So as you can see, silence happens much more often than you think, right? Think about, in dinners with your in-law, or, at the funeral, or my students in the first week of semester. I'm really trying here. Corporate teamwork. But, first few weeks of the semester, crickets everywhere. I'm clicking. Yeah, I don't blame them, Gen Zs. But something we can't forget, which is equally important, is the workplace. Remember that time in a meeting when your boss goes, "Does anyone have any questions?" And again, crickets. Crickets everywhere. Crickets, come on! You gotta work with me here! I have clicker issues. Yes. I know. Very bad. So, you really wonder, like, silence in the workplace is really bad, right? It's when employees choose to withhold information in the workplace, their opinions, their concerns, which are very important. But then, it's not a behavior that's done by one person. It becomes a shared behavior within teams, within social settings. I see a lot of heads nodding there, yeah, you can see that. A lot of them are Asians as well. Yeah, I'm nodding my head as well. As an Asian guy in Australia, we often feel invisible and unheard. Silence is pretty much our best friend. Yeah, I know. But I'm pretty good at dealing with silence myself, especially from my dates. They often leave me on red. I mean, come on, if you're not interested, let me know. I have options, okay? I'm not that bad looking. Okay, let's get a little bit serious here. Silence maybe sometimes is a good thing, right? You don't want to hear Hannah preach to you to become a vegetarian. Or Emily talking about how cute her dog is. Oh, seriously, those people with dogs. But seriously, actually, silence can be pretty detrimental. In the early 2000s, yes, NASA had a space shuttle crash. And this was actually when a bunch of engineers collectively withheld their concerns about mechanical faults in the actual shuttle, which led to the crash. So silence, pretty detrimental, pretty collective behavior, right? In my own research, collecting surveys from thousands of workers working across different industries in many countries, and they work in banks, hospitals, project teams, silence, we found, was pretty detrimental to the team's performance, such as poor customer outcomes, medical errors, pretty serious stuff. And as part of this, I worked with a bunch of CEOs and executives, right? And you really wonder what those people care about. Well, while you think, these things in the society are quite important, like curing cancer, or, fighting for world peace, guess what CEOs really care about? Money. Yeah. So the teams that I was working with in banks was making much less money when they were silent. Yeah, that's true. And that's when they got really interested in my research, and then gave me more money. But you know what's worst of all? Still, is when my dates don't reply me. Again, clicking. There you go. So as part of this, what's more important is how do we reduce silence in the workplace? How do we get rid of silence in teams, right? And I thought of some really crazy ideas. Maybe we can have, more team meetings, for example. More opportunities for people to be less silent, speak up more, But then, I was like, who wants more meetings? Oh, we could have been an email. And then, maybe we can mandate some hourly screaming. People can just let it all out, how they feel. And then I thought maybe we can go reverse psychology, some meditation, just super quiet. And people just get so irritated they have to say something. Of course, these ideas didn't fly very well with my supervisor. So what really happened was that we went out to find, what can we do in the workplace to reduce silence in teams? And one of the key ways around this is leadership. Oh, I know, another spiel about how important your leader is, but they're important, okay? Trust me, I know we hate them, but we love them. It's funny, my boss is here too. So, a great example of leadership, for reducing silence is actually for leaders to be humble, like me. Like me. So be humble, like me. I'm such a great example of humility. But, these people might say otherwise. So we found out that when leaders are humble, that means that when they're willing to, they're willing to admit their own mistakes, they acknowledge other people's strengths, they also know their own shortcomings and they show them, but they're also open to other people's feedback and ideas. That creates a really safe and encouraging environment for people to speak up and not stay silent, even in collective settings. Yeah, that's really important. But then, like you guys who are rolling your eyes here, like what good leader or boss in their mind would admit their own mistakes, right? Like seriously. The CEOs thought the same. They agreed, they were laughing at me until I showed them that those teams were making much more money. I get it. Money's very important, guys. We've got to pay rent here. So, they started being very interested in my research. And the good thing about humility is that it actually can be trained. Unless you're these people. Now, there are actually two things. All the leaders' effort in being humble would actually go to waste if the team's not committed, right? So that people who work in these teams actually have to really care about their jobs. They have to care about the work they do for their company. They have to feel that they belong and committed to the work and the organization. And that means that then they'll perform much better. So remember, right? More humility in teams from your leaders, much less silent. Then you'll have better performance and more mullah, more money. And all the other things are important too. So it reminds me I gotta call my eye surgeon and tell her that she needs to be more humble to her nurse. And then maybe next time they'll do the surgery on the right eye. Right? Or the correct eye. So I'm just gonna leave you guys with this. Don't believe a word Ronan Keating has to say. We don't say it best when we say nothing at all. Thank you guys.